So guess what? They've invented a machine to fight climate change. They've invented it. I'm not kidding. It takes carbon out of the air. You think I'm kidding? This is a big deal. Not really. The world's biggest carbon removal plant just opened. In a year, it'll negate just 3 seconds worth of global emissions. I shouldn't laugh, but you have to laugh. It's so cartoonish. This is what they're doing. This is what they're spending their time on. Well, hopefully there's enough time to invent something else. This works. So one plant operating all year will negate 3 seconds of global carbon emissions. And so now all we need to do is build like about 1 billion of these. We need a billion of these. You think that's possible? We only have one so far. So maybe if we get 1 billion, let's start with 1 million. Let's see if we can get 1 million of them. This is maybe we can get 5 seconds worth by 2050. Is that what we should do? I keep laughing at my own jokes. I feel like a jerk. This carbon capture and storage facility named Orca turned on 2 weeks ago after more than 18 months of construction. The fans are embedded in shipping container-sized boxes. And once the carbon dioxide is separated, it gets mixed with water, then travels through snaking fat tubes deep underground where the carbon cools and solidifies. Does it become coal? Are you making oil? What are you making? Through this process, one can trap and sequester 4,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide per year, making it the largest facility of its kind in the world. Though there are currently only 2 running. So there's 2. We're on our way. There's 2. According to the latest report from the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, carbon capture and storage is a necessary part of our best-case climate scenarios. Really? But currently, facilities like Orca only negate a sliver of global emissions. Today, the world's biggest carbon capture facility turned on. If it works, in 1 year, it will capture 3 seconds worth of humanity's CO2 emissions at incredible expense. I'm rooting for it, but only a fool would bet the planet on it. I'm with you. Every little bit helps, but just a reminder, this is really a little bit. Every little bit helps. Put another way, columnist told Insider, at any given moment, it will capture 1/10,000,000th of humanity's current emissions. It's remarkable to me it is being considered as part of those plans. I feel like neighborhood composting might do better than this.
Right?
I guess it depends on how many veggies you eat, but there's also the question of timing. The IPCC report says that without capturing significant amounts of carbon over the next 30 years, it will be impossible to get humanity to net zero emissions by 2050. And consequently, to limit warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. I don't think that's happening. So, yeah, we just need 1 million of these things, and everything will be fine. But Matthew Barlow, a climate scientist at the University of Massachusetts, Lowell, said 3 decades isn't enough for the technology to be deployed widely. Damn it. There's no possible way for it to scale up on that time scale, Barlow, who contributed to the report, IPCC report, told the Insider. If the Senate's infrastructure bill passes in the House, it would allocate $3.5 billion toward direct air capture facilities in the U.S.
Where are they going to get the money?
Oh, who's going to pay for that? The Orca facility does the work of 200,000 trees in 1,000 times less space. said the energy policy researcher at Columbia University. So maybe why don't we start planting, 20 million trees? Don't you think there's enough space in California to plant 20 million trees? New York? I would say that in Texas, New York, and California, there's plenty of, you could probably plant 1 billion trees. This is just off the top of my head.
You're not a scientist?
I'm not a scientist, but I don't think there's any damage in you trying to go plant 1 billion trees if you try to do that. Where's Johnny Appleseed when you need him, huh? But trees capture carbon at a much lower cost of $50 per metric ton compared to Orca's $600 per metric ton. So that's quite a cost savings with the trees. Plus, you don't have to build anything. You just plant them. Kalmus thinks carbon capture ultimately distracts the world from the other solutions that would make a bigger dent in emissions, like investment in renewables and regulations targeting the fossil fuel industry. Fossil fuel companies love carbon capture because it really lets them off the hook. That's right. By the way, world's wealthiest at the heart of the climate problem. Here we go. A new report says the world's wealthiest 1% produced double the combined carbon emissions of the poorest 50%. Holy F. The wealthiest 5% alone, the so-called polluter elite, contribute 37% of emissions growth in 25 years. Wow. This is saying something. Report, the U.S. military emits more CO2 than many industrialized nations. You want to see? So the U.S. military is one of the biggest climate polluters, one of the biggest CO2 emitters. They emit more than Morocco, Peru, Sweden, Hungary, Finland, New Zealand, Norway, and Switzerland. That's from Brown University. That's from 2017. So it's probably worse now. So I don't know. It's kind of a comical climate change story or global warming story. I don't know how we talk about it, but it's kind of comical, don't you think?
Yeah.
We have two. There's 2 of those plants now, so that's 6 seconds a year. We can negate 6 seconds of CO2. Hey, I'm glad people are trying something, I guess. But seriously, why not? We should get an environmentalist person who knows something.
Somebody's talking about Guy McPherson is being recommended.
Oh yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know who that is, but we'll check it out. Honest, it seems like 1 billion trees would be the way out of this. I don't know. Probably not. If that was, somebody would have already suggested it, I guess, right? So maybe I'm way off. But anyway, there's your depressing climate change news of the day. The plant that they figured out how to capture carbon captures in a whole year 3 seconds of carbon. So again, that's not nothing. We're doing a live Jimmy Dore show in Sacramento, October 3rd. We just added a second show. Plus, we're doing stand-up comedy in Florida, in West Palm Beach, and Dania. And then we're going to Buffalo, Baltimore, Tempe, and Portland. Go to jimmydoorecomedy.com for a link for all our tickets.